Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Living on Blockchain. Today, we are speaking to Lakshay. Lakshay is involved with a company called Chainfly, which is working at the crux of blockchain, AI, as well as drone technologies. This was a very interesting conversation because we talked about all three tech. We talked about Web3 and how, builders need to really build for real use cases. We talked about AI and the ethics that become very important as this technology is growing faster than any of us could have imagined. We talked a lot about drones and how drones are actually helping with data collection and solving real-time problems by giving these guys executable data that they're using to give different kinds of services to their end customer. Very interesting conversation. He has written a book as well. I think this is one for the young, aspiring, folks who are looking to become an entrepreneur or looking to build in this space. Very good insights, lots of suggestions. I can't wait for you to hear this. Let's deep dive right in. Hi, Lakshay. Thank you so much for making the time to speak to me today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
So, can you tell us a little about yourself and how you got into Web3, AI, and you're working with drones as well. So let's start with giving our listeners some context about you.
Yeah, so my journey started when I left. I did my PGDM from Delhi. After that, I worked with my brother who is working on the blockchain idea. He has an idea on blockchain tech. And I was like, okay, let's work on it because this is a very unique idea. I've never heard of a blockchain coming into that space, which is insurance, because normally we heard blockchain crypto. But at time we were experimenting blockchain for insurance, and we built a solution for one of the company which was working on health insurance solution. And they also end up working with Ayushman Bharat Yojana project for some time. So that was an amazing thing that we did. Actually, it was a very critical problem in that time, claim processing. And I never thought that, okay, blockchain can be one of the technology which can solve it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So actually, it was a real world application that from the first day I enjoyed about blockchain.
Right.
So that's the journey. And then I went into AI because of the same thing. Blockchain was going down and AI was coming up. And I thought, okay, this is the time I should learn AI. I should start learning, adapting AI. I did my course from some of the certificates I did in AI as a manager. And then I wrote my first book also. I also taught students of international community, mostly Africa, Nigeria, Indians, locals, about blockchain and AI and how they can, as a non-techie, go for it. Because mostly we think that blockchain and AI is all about tech, but I think blockchain and AI is more non-tech also. Because if you don't know how to apply it to real use cases, you don't know whether you make how much good a technology is does not matter. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, what you said is absolutely right. The technology can be excellent, but without a real use case, without users utilizing it, it's useless. Like they say that, a big ship is safe and sound in the harbor, but that is not what ships are made for, and they are meant to sail. So I understand what you're saying. Can you tell me a little more about Chainfly? Because that's the company that you're mostly involved with and what it does.
Yeah, so Chainfly mission is very critical because when I was into blockchain industry, the first thing I found out that, okay, the data collection is not very popularly done in India. Because if you are collecting data using human or you're collecting data by yourself, there's a chance of manipulation that either you can manipulate, because as a human we have a nature. We never let another person know the truth sometime because it's saving of a job. A lot of things are there. Even we, as a human, sometimes we cannot judge everything. Like if I talk about some of the data which we cannot see with naked eyes, is a geospatial data, Earth various data, health of the planet, green vegetation data nearby. This is the data which we do not take calculation. Also, if I am taking the data of some property, I will not consider if there is a road going on nearby. But as a property valuation, we consider it. So that's all the data I was very much interested. I was like, okay, if we even make asset tokenization on blockchain and we are not collecting the right data of that asset, the value of that asset is not coming rightly on that platform. And if you're not giving the right data, then at the end, if you use blockchain, AI, anything, does not matter. That's where I come with this idea that okay, why not use drones for this and help the real asset tokenization to boom in India.
Okay, so can you tell me a little more about this? Because it's very interesting that you have you are dealing with basically fraudulent data, or to fight back against fraudulent data, because when humans, as you mentioned, are curating data, there can be errors, but it is different when you use code basically. And I think that is the very premise of blockchain, right? That in code we trust. We are trying to create a trustless system. So how are you incorporating blockchain, AI, and drones in this? And what kind of data are you collecting? And what is perhaps the why? What is the motivation behind collecting this data? How does it become executable?
Yeah. So, let's me talk about with example. Like, just imagine if you're building a solar panel farm, which is a solar farm which you want to tokenize in the future. You thought, okay, there is a real world asset tokenization. I want to tokenize my solar farm because I thought, okay, that the income which we will earn from it will be a very good source for income for everyone, and people have invested in it because of tokenization project. But before investing, what we do, we go with the drone, we survey the land, and we find out if there is any nearby vegetation going on. Because if a vegetation is going nearby, the plants will be very big, and it can be an object. It can be a hurdle for the solar panel for getting the solar waves. And another problem that we will see is that okay, whether the land is properly measured or not. Is there a nearby problem of generating the solar? Is there nearby any objection or any building coming or any plan which is ready or any construction work going on which we see that okay they can expand in future nearby to you where you will face problem when you're hosting your solar farms. All this data we check, and after is all checked, we give you the report of okay, there is a properly feasible study done by us. Now you can establish your solar farm. After establishing the solar farm, what we do, we take care of that solar farm. Rather than human, we take the drones for that. What we do with the drones, we can even can do thermal scanning of the solar panel. We can let you know that the solar panel is not working. How much the ROI you're generating from it. All this data we are calculating with the help of our softwares. We are mostly using
Hmm.
software as an advanced method here. So that to make the drone lighter, not putting too much weight on drone, because if you put too much weight on drone or you push too much sensors on drone, the drone flight time will decrease. First problem. Second is cost will increase, which we don't want to make sure that the company should pay for. We think that okay, if the software can do the most of the work, why not make software so advanced that drones just be a data collection center, nothing else you require from them. And that's where we're working with AI. We are working with geospatial data. Uh, we are planning to use Google Earth. We are planning to use Google Maps API or open source drone map. A lot of things, a lot of technology which we are planning to integrate to help people get as much as data they need. And it depends upon use case to use case which type of data they require mostly.
Okay, so basically, you are collecting this data using drones with the help of existing APIs and utilizing AI, obviously, for better, perhaps, structure and making this entire process more efficient. And you are offering these services for folks who might be looking to tokenize real world assets. Is my understanding correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So do you also like help out your potential customers with real world asset tokenization?
Yeah, we are right now not in planning, but very soon we will have a partnership with our asset tokenization partners. We are not looking to do that as a ourselves. We are not a blockchain company, but yeah, we are going to partner with asset tokenization company which require asset management service, which need the service or asset valuation service. We are open for that, but yeah, we are not looking to do asset tokenization as a primary use case.
Okay. All right. So what is next for you guys?
Yeah, the next for us is that in future we are also planning to launch waste management data collection, carbon tracking data collection. That's our next things we are looking to address. Most of the area that we are using that in future we are also looking to use more AI. If I talk about blockchain, I think a lot of things will be on blockchain in future. Like we will also target tokenization industries, which looking for this. We will also target in future DeFi industry, which is a DeFi insurance industry mostly, because I think in insurance, when you're going for real world insurance use cases like agriculture insurance and all that, if you're collecting the data with a human, then there is no point of blockchain. So I think as a blockchain company, I think the Dawn is the best way of collecting the data, because you don't need to trust somebody, you're trusting the technology. So you can be a properly decentralized from the starting to the end. And that's where I think the future is. Even we are planning to help them in collecting the data for supply chain and inventory tracking with the help of drones, because now drones are very much mini. They can even fly within the warehouse also. They are a very small size. There are nano drones which can even fly within the, you can say, very small rooms. And that's where I think the future is. With the help of drones and with the help of our AI and our softwares, we can help the blockchain expand their use cases from uh, as much as they want, I think.
All right. So you worked a lot, obviously, at the intersection of blockchain and AI. What is your opinion? How do these two technologies, work in cohesive or cohesion together?
I think they are working very quietly well, but my point is still people are not looking at blockchain real world use cases. That's my concern when I talk about with a lot of blockchain founders. I feel that when we talk about Uber, Ola, we talk about the cabs. But in blockchain, there is only one cab company, D-Life, which is in India.
Hmm.
There's no more cab companies I've seen. If I talk about ticket traveling, we talk about normally uh, Redbus and all that. But I never saw some blockchain app getting into ticket traveling or something, or any
There
blockchain app
are
which has
apps like
tried.
that. There is Truvala that does that, that lets you, let you not just pay with crypto, but like book hotels, etc. as well. Truvala
Yeah,
does that.
I have seen that, but my concern with them is only that okay, the crypto is one of the currency you're using.
Hmm.
Apart from that, what problem you're solving? Because for me, the problem is not the currency option. For me, the problem is that I don't trust the hotel when I go in a, because I've seen with the Oyo that when I go to Oyo or any hotel, they can cancel my booking without talking with me, or even they can deny me the hotel. I have seen this problem with many guests in Oyo, but still there is no solution found by the blockchain companies. Okay,
Right.
so this is a major concern for me. The if you're solving a real world problem, that is more important than the technology you're using. And I think that's where the blockchain is still lacking, is not working on real world problem use cases more. And just talking about the blockchain as a technology, I probably a fan of it. But unless we does not focus more on real world use cases, we will not be accepted by the society as much we talk, as much we do conferences. I have seen this with AI. AI
Hmm.
is more popular because of ChatGPT. If you go with ChatGPT, it's being used by most of the people for real world use cases. We see people finding some answers on ChatGPT. We see hospitals are using ChatGPT for some learnings and helping the doctors. So AI is more popular because of the use cases, not because of technology as a people are fan. Even if you go with most of the people who are using the AI, they may be saying bad about AI. They may be saying, no, this is not a good technology, but they're still using it because they are more dependent on the use cases. But I have never seen any blockchain people saying that okay, we are fan of that use cases. I haven't seen him that either he's a fan of crypto, he's a fan of blockchain technology, but he's never a fan of some use case. That still we need to work on. I think the if we focus more on use case, we can be the we can easily expand the blockchain era in India.
Right. So what you're saying is obviously something that a lot of builders talk about, that there are not enough people building for real use cases. And what you're building a solution, and then you're looking for a problem, which when it should be the other way around. So I do concur to a degree with what you are saying, that the sector is still trying to find a PMF in the right places. But having said that, I do believe that, as you said, that the technology is robust. It is the new era of tech, and I think that it's also in its infancy. So use cases will come out, and there are platforms that are doing well, there are chains that are doing well, and there are people who are transacting. There are bigger brands who are looking at decentralized tech and incorporating it in their processes. So your concerns are valid. But I do feel that there is, I'm very bullish on the way the industry is panning out. Like from 5 to 10 years ago to now, there has been a lot of growth.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with you. But what my concern is not with that. My concern is mostly what Google is saying when they are using the some technology. So let me tell you that when I was with the Google Speak Plus person or some spokesperson coming to Web3 conference, he told that okay, if you talk about blockchain or any technology more, it does not make any technology popular. But if you talk about its use cases, it helps the technology. Just example, if I talk about take normal app like Book My Show, which is a ticketing app. Nobody knows technology, how it works. Nobody knows how Book My Show works. Nobody knows its deep tech technology. Nobody knows what in back end data they are doing it. But everybody knows what they are doing in front end. They are booking your tickets. And people does not care about the technology in back end because for them it is not a useful thing. Because for me, knowing a technology is only valid when I am a developer. Just imagine knowing AI is okay for the person who wants to build AI or who wants to do coding in AI. But as a user, does I need to know technology? I think not. But as a user, just only need to know how that app operates. I don't need to know the technology because I'm not a fan of technology. I'm a fan of that use case.
Yes, no, your point is very well taken. I think this is something that I've discussed with many other founders that, when you're using, say, a WhatsApp, you don't really know, or at least, people who are perhaps not the tech nerds, they would have absolutely no idea about what the tech stack is, and nobody really cares. It's all about solving real world problems. So I concur with you there. Now I would like to talk a little bit about AI ethics and challenges. You've written about it in your book as well, and I would love to know a lot more about your book as well as your opinion on just ethics and challenges that come with any new advent of technology.
Yeah, definitely. So AI ethics is something I think in future will be a very serious concern, which can be solved with the help of blockchain. I think. Because when we talk about AI ethics, I think no country can alone can work on it. Because AI is not a one country technology. It's going to be a combined technology with various countries coming together, managing it, and then operating with it. Ethics is very concerned because if just imagine with the AI, uh, a person is not allowed to enter into pass into building or some flight because he has been rejected by the AI as a face filter, and that person was rejected because of the biased data because data was not provided to him, or somebody has manipulated that AI, or AI is doing some decision by themselves which is like rejecting the black people or rejecting some color based people or rejecting females or rejecting some acid victims, which is not right because as a AI you cannot take ethical decision. Ethical decision should always be taken by humans. Just one of the example I will give because my friend, which is a my childhood friend, is a lawyer. Right? I was talking with him. Okay, that in future, if there is a judge who can do the AI role, like AI can be the judge. So he told me that okay, if that is the case, then you cannot trust the AI because AI cannot take the ethical decision. He will always take what you told him. Okay, you cannot make AI judge. So I think that is a major concern with the AI because when AI starts judging something, it's not always going to be right. It can be wrong. And who is going to take the decision? Is there a panel behind it, or is there going to be a DAO mechanism behind it? I think blockchain can be one of the way. That DAO can be the way to govern the AI because in that everybody will have a seat, everybody will be there, and it can be a governing body who is controlling it rather than the one person. I think because if one person is controlling AI, it's dangerous. But if a governing body or council is there, I think that can be a good idea.
All right. So, can you tell me a little about where your book is available so that in case our listeners want to give it a read, want to purchase it, they can do that?
Yeah, so my book is on Pencil platform. Even I will give the link to you, so you can pause in your podcast.
Awesome. So, considering you've been an entrepreneur for a while and you've built uh, a vibrant tech community, what do you think goes into fostering, yourself as a a community leader, creating a community of tech enthusiasts? What are the kind of steps other people who are perhaps looking to do something similar should they take?
Yeah, definitely. I think as a community manager or as a community leader, first thing you should be always be open to suggestion from others because you not know what to do, put as a content. Be regular because that's the main thing I've seen with most of the people. They start with something and after the sometime they leave the community. If you're not regular, I myself have faced many problems when I was not regular in some communities. I have to shut it down because people were like, okay, leaving or leaving that groups or something. But when I started the Bitman brief, which was my main community I targeted, I was very much regular. I was always passionate about it. I was always talking about it. Even I was putting my personal expense also on it. But I will not suggest everyone to do that. That's up to their how they want to run the community. But at least two rules I always say: please be regular and be respectful to the community members. Never say anything back to them because they are your customers. Like just imagine they are the people who are not your customer. They are the people who are actually there for because of you. So if you are saying back to them or you're saying something wrong about them, that will not help your community. So be always positive to your community. Try to help them as much as possible. And if the second rule is be regular, please post as much as you can. At least one day a post, or if you posting on every social media, then it's okay. But if not posting at least one social media target, then also post regularly on.
What are the kind of key challenges that you foresee in the integration of blockchain and AI with drone technology? How do you plan to overcome these?
Yeah, so I think the challenges are obviously there with every technology. First, obviously, the drones are, we are seeing a lot of experiment is going with the drones. Now, the defense sector is very much experimenting. We, as a civilization, drones are coming. A lot of experiment is going on the hardware side. That is another thing. In the software, a lot of experiment is going with the AI side, how we can integrate better AI, how we can have a image recognition. A lot of technologies is going on. Carbon analysis, how we can have a vegetation analysis, or various other analysis like deep analysis and valuation of the property, image analysis, map analysis. All these things are coming. So the software is also getting mature day by day. As per part of blockchain, I think in three ways it can help. Like one of the thing that I see in future is to build a identity for like we right now we have UI number for every door. In future, if we want, we can put it on DID if the some company wants to do that. But I feel that okay, that's not a major concern. Major concern is obviously the don't data security for the especially for defense area because if you talk about normal data, I think whether you put it on blockchain or not does not matter so much, unless the blockchain is self a use case or you are targeting blockchain company. But if you are putting, if you're working with defense, blockchain can be an advantage to you because defense, we already have seen that government is very serious about defense. They have even looking to use the Indian drones only. No China or that is boycotts and all that are happening that okay, no, China drones are not allowed. Uh, Second, they are even looking for Indian software companies to help them this build the software part, but I think the major problem is the communication part that they are very much concerned that okay, if we are using the drone, can the image or that footage or something be hacked by the some other concerned authority or by the China's or some other nearby neighbor or like any nearby border which is like can access our data and use against us. And that's where I think that blockchain can be one of the secure mechanism for storing data, accessing, and making sure that this drone technology is properly feature secure. And we are let's assure that okay, we are properly secured with the help of communication angle. So I think blockchain can be one of the tool for communicating with the drone and making sure that its security is lies where it should be. Yeah.
All right. In terms of the mentorship that you do for startups, you have uh, taught entrepreneurs, students. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, so I actually taken mentorship as a role in SAC, which is one of the incubation center which was established by Government of India. They have a branch also in nearby my home. I'm teaching and mentoring the startup. The startup which are mostly there. are into tier 3 and tier 2 cities. They are not from tier 1. They're not from metro cities. Their thinking capability is very different. They are not using technologies. They are using the raw materials. They are using some raw basic options. They are mostly into fashions, mostly into different type of areas, but they're not into tech. So I think the IT sector has not reached to this root level, which is tier 2, tier 3 cities entrepreneurs. I think in future we will see most of these entrepreneurs using technology. Myself, I'm very much interested in working with these entrepreneurs because I think we already have seen a tier 1 cities already getting a lot of help when it comes to entrepreneurship and blockchain AI. But when I go to blockchain and AI summit, I mostly see tier 2 or tier 3 cities guys, and I think that where should the blockchain conference now should go. If we are hosting a blockchain or AI conference within some rural area or some village or somewhere, I think that will help a lot of people in that area to know actually what is blockchain. Because when I go to them, they does not know blockchain, they does not know AI. They only know basic Google, they know basic WhatsApp, how to run a WhatsApp. They don't even know MetaMask, they've never heard about it. So I think that's where the major India live in India. India is mostly rural based also. It's not only urban population that we have. I think now we should target rural also, and I think that's where I'm working with my mentorship programs. Not with my mentorship, I am helping the startups which are there in the SAC India, which is one of the organizations run by Government of India, to get them mentor and to get them ready because these founders do not get help because as first of all this is a volunteer service. There is no some like payment or you going to come. Second, like nobody wants to go to this rural area or you can say any problem or something. Third, I think still they are not focusing on technology. The opposite, that tech startups does not want to go there because they think that okay, this is not their domain. But I think if more and more people go to rural area and they start helping these people, this will help us to make the India better startup nation. Yeah.
Okay, so considering again you've been working in tech for some time and you have deep insights about this space. Where do you see this technology, blockchain, AI, drone technology evolving in the next, say, decade?
Yeah, definitely. I think the drone technology is going to be the very crazy technology when it comes to next decade. I hope that it will be a very billion dollar industry already and it will keep growing. Let's talk about AI blockchain. I think AI is already shown us what it can do with the help of Chat GPT, coding. And now even we have Chat GPT with Canvas, which is one of the very best tool I've ever seen. That okay, now you can have a full course coding based Chat GPT. Then obviously, if I talk about blockchain, I think they can be one of the tool for solving the cybersecurity issue because I think that most of the drones will be used in defense. That is very clear that defense is going to be the main market for drone. But I don't think that only defense is the industry. There will be a lot of other industries will use drone. But yeah, defense will be the major part. And when you talk about defense, I think the blockchain can be one of the way to secure the communication between the different defense players and making sure that there is no loophole between the data and any point. And apart from that, I think asset tokenization is one of the industry where I think drones can help the blockchain to make better advantage of real world asset tokenization. And as a person of blockchain, I am very hopeful towards RWA. I think RWA can be the one of the area where blockchain can actually show real world assets, real world use cases because it is actually feasible. Like if you're selling a real estate property, you can see actually it. So it's very real and it is very useful. And I think the real asset tokenization is one of the way that blockchain can go. With the help of drone and AI, we can make sure that the trust is properly there. There is no trust in between getting broken. So that's where I think this three technology combined can go. And also then climate is one of the reason that I have been into this space because I've seen that climate is also one of the issue which is getting ready. And blockchain plus AI plus drone, these three can combine and solve that problem. Yeah.
That's a very good perspective, I think, and you have picked up pertinent issues, and you're trying to solve these issues with the help of technology. There can be nothing more commendable than that. So, what is next for you, Lakshay, personally, professionally? What is something that you're looking forward to, say, in the next 2 quarters?
Yeah, definitely. Personally, I'm looking forward to. We are right now working on POC's part, our testing of softwares and all that. Apart from that, if I talk about personally, I think I will be love to mentor more startups, get involved with more AI products and deep tech AI and data collections. How we do data collection better, and obviously help the blockchain startup to expand. Because I think blockchain startup are mostly lacking because of data collection in India. When I talk with a lot of supply chain startups which are into blockchain, the major concern I see that okay, they're not still understanding how Indian market works. Like if I talk about supply chain, most of the Indian startups are working on making the advanced software for supply chain. Whereas I think if you go to supply chain, people you will understand what type of software they're using. They're using Excel or ERP. So that's why I think the people need to understand Indian market better. But I think with the help of our data collection centers and our data collection technique, which is will be using drones and AI and mostly softwares for building the better sense of the data collected by drones and making it useful for every industry. I think that will be very good help for blockchain to expand in India. And I'm hopeful that okay, with the help of our technology and with the help of our use cases, we will help the blockchain to expand in India, especially real estate tokenization. I think that can be one of the use case. Climate is one of the use case. And also there are a lot of use cases like insurance industry. I talk about that. Yeah, there's a lot of use cases with insurance, agriculture insurance, and land insurance, or DeFi loan when you give to business, or B2B loan. That's where we can use like because in B2B loan you are keeping the asset like any property or building as a collateral value. So you can use a loan for that valuation of that property, and then afterwards you can even in between send the loan for checking whether the property has some damage or not. If the damage is there, you will charge premium accordingly. A lot of things can be done. So I think a lot of things we can work on, and I'm hopeful that more and more real estate organization will now look forward to better data collection and better asset management techniques and work on that so that the trust of the customer is never lost from the blockchain. Yeah.
Awesome. I think the perspective and your motivations are absolutely right, and all the best for the future, Lakshay. Now, as we are drawing to a close of nearly 30 minutes of this conversation, I'd like to ask you maybe one or two questions more before we wrap this up. I would love to know what is your key message or piece of advice. You've already like mentioned many times working on real problems and use cases, but if you had to leave our listeners, especially those who are interested in blockchain, AI, and emerging technologies, what will be like the advice that you would like to give them, as well as the resources that you would like to direct them to, so that they can further their chances of having a great career in this space?
Yeah, no, my advice to all the young entrepreneurs which are listening, or the young, especially the college student, I think, is that in the fourth year, start working in a startup. Because I think that when you're in the fourth year, you does not have a responsibility of financial responsibility. That's the best thing because you are not, your family does not accept it. You earn from fourth year. So in fourth year, after third year, try to work with the startup if your college allows. If not, then try to talk with the college management, convince them that okay, we want to do a job or some internship in a startup, free of cost, no problem. If this is an unpaid internship, do that because if you work in a startup, you will learn a lot of things. You will learn the time management, you will learn the basic skills that you require to succeed in the life, and the best thing is you will learn what to not to do in a startup, because that's a major thing I think everybody should learn. Because we always say that a failed entrepreneur is better because he knows what he needs not to do.
Hmm.
And that's where I think I always advise all the fourth year students, especially college students, to at least go for ESOP or any unpaid internship in any startup, and let their mind be open onto that world. And technology, obviously, you can learn, as there's a lot of courses, there are a lot of syllabus which you can go. Every college normally now have blockchain courses, also getting AI courses are there now. Even drones are coming into most of the colleges. Even we are planning to go into college in future as an education segment that we will target. But obviously, I think there is a resources now. The resources is not a problem. It's about the willpower. So I think the willpower is that you should in the fourth year should go for working in a startup, and don't think that okay, if you're getting a good job in a good company or a big corporates, because sometimes big corporates cannot give you what a startup can give you. They will not give you the salary, but they will give you the learning. And I think at the starting career, you should prefer learning more than salary. Afterwards, obviously, everybody wants a salary. I probably agree with you. But in the starting, you should focus on learning, because if you know coding skill is better, you can earn from anywhere. But if your basic skill is not right, you cannot earn from anywhere. That I think the major concern with the students I see.
Right. I think that is wonderful advice. Get your foundations right, learn, have an outlook for growth, and gather rather the right experience, have the strong foundation to perhaps let it catapult you to better things, and let that foundation make you grow professionally. So I think that is wonderful advice for our listeners. Lakshay, I ask this question to everybody who comes on the show, and I would love to ask you as well. Uh, you are somebody who's worked on the cusp of various technologies. You were at some point, obviously, in Web 2, and you've moved to Web 3, AI, and new emerging tech. What would be your advice for our listeners who are perhaps facing the same dilemma and they are wondering if the new era of tech is for them? What would be your suggestions for them to start living on blockchain?
I think every tech has some advantage and disadvantage. It's up to you how you want to go for it.
Right,
Uh, so if you are a developer and you think that okay, I need to learn blockchain for my use case, I think first you need to, as a startup founders, if you're looking to learn it, you need to figure out the problem you want to solve, then learn the technology. Second, if as an employee you're looking to learn it, like as a person you want to look that okay, I want a job in this area, then look for the demand in that industry. I think blockchain developer there's a good demand. AI engineers there's a good demand. Drones, I think there's a good demand. Software engineers again everywhere required. That's I think the already a demanding area. So if I talk about other areas, you have to look into that. Okay, whether there's a demand or not. Accordingly, you should learn and adopt the technology first. And second, I will always ask the student to take three things when you are learning. First, be not only look for courses which are very much costly, because sometimes the costly course cannot be a good course. If you're getting education free of cost, then also take it. Okay. Uh,
right.
Second, go for hackathons and practical experience, because
Hmm.
that will make you ready with the actual coding experience. If you're a coder and you don't know how to coding, then whether you have taken a course from Udemy or anywhere does not matter. Okay. Third is be do available on your networking skills, because today everything is about the LinkedIn. How much followers, how much base you have on LinkedIn or any platform you're using. Like if you're using Twitter, then that will be your platform. If you're using LinkedIn, that will be a platform. Mostly in startups, LinkedIn is the best platform to use. But obviously, it's up to you which platform you're using. Be available for networking and start working on your network part, and try to go and attend the startup events, because in startup you meet a lot of founders. You will connect with them, you will guide a guidance from them, and that will help you. I think these three steps if you'll do, you can be a good employer, you can be a good startup founder. Then rest is up to you how you want to approach the world.
I think that's wonderful advice. I think that's a great way to close the episode, Lakshay. Thank you so much once again for making the time to speak to me today. I think this has been a very insightful conversation, especially for students, young entrepreneurs, people who are working in the drone technology, drone space, Web3 space, as well as on the cusp of AI. We would sure to link all the resources that you are sharing with us in the podcast description. And all the best for the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.